It has been a long time since we last returned with a video on the theme of religion. It is truly difficult to explain why billions of people around the world hold religious beliefs. Atheists firmly assert that this world is entirely governed by science, while those who believe in higher beings always direct their hearts toward that unseen realm. No matter how intelligent or knowledgeable one may be, when sensitive topics like religion come up for discussion, it's essential to approach them with an open mind and calmness. We are not here to impose anyone's beliefs or to preach. Everyone's faith deserves equal respect. If you do not believe in religion, please listen to this as a story from another mysterious world, without judging others as superstitious. On the other hand, if you have strong faith and stand firm in your beliefs, keep them close to your heart, and also refrain from disrespecting those who believe in a purely materialistic world. Mr. Bitchett channel calls on all viewers to receive sensitive content from a neutral perspective, engage in civilized discussions, and reject extreme or unconstructive opinions. Today, our topic will revolve around mysterious religious phenomena, specifically the Shroud of Turin and instances of statues weeping. Welcome to today's video on Mr. Bitchett channel, Mysterious Religious Phenomena, Sacred Miracles or Mere Deception. As usual, before diving into the main content, I hope you can take a moment to like and subscribe to help our community grow stronger. Don't look away. Let's begin right now. Take a look at this image. What you're seeing is known as the Shroud of Turin. The Shroud of Turin is among the greatest unsolved religious mysteries left over from the Middle Ages until today. Despite extensive scientific involvement and numerous studies attempting to verify its authenticity and identify the man imprinted on it, no definitive conclusions have yet been reached. So where did this cloth come from? What was it used for? And why does it hold such religious significance? There are no historical records about the origins of this famous shroud until the 14th century. When it first appeared, people passed down a long and detailed legend about it. According to the tale, this was the very cloth used to wrap the body of Jesus Christ after his crucifixion. After many ups and downs and passing through many hands, the shroud was eventually brought to Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, in 1418. Later, it was moved to the Montfaucon fortress, and in 1452, Princess Margaret transferred it to the noble Savoy family in Italy for safekeeping. The Savoys even built a special monastery to house this precious relic. During World War II, the shroud was safely stored within the Cathedral of Turin, where it remains to this day. What makes the Shroud of Turin particularly remarkable isn't just its age, but the shocking theories surrounding the image imprinted upon it. According to National Geographic, when taking a negative photograph of the linen cloth, researchers discovered what appeared to be the image of a man covered in wounds and signs of torture. And guess who this image reminds people of? Yes, many believe it resembles Jesus Christ himself. But is there any evidence to prove the shroud is authentic? Or is this merely a religiously motivated hoax? Scientific tests have indeed revealed intriguing results. Bloodstains on the shroud contain high levels of synchonine and ferritin, substances typically found in patients suffering from severe external trauma, such as torture. Moreover, the presence of biological nanoparticles detected during experiments suggests the man wrapped in the shroud suffered a violent death, a crucial piece of evidence supporting the theory that this could indeed be the burial cloth of Jesus Christ. Since 1969, scientists have conducted research to determine the validity of the theory behind the image on this famous shroud. However, in 1988, a corner of the fabric was sent to 3 different laboratories at Oxford University, the University of Arizona, and the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology. The results were controversial. According to carbon dating, the shroud dated back to between 1260 and 1390, more than 1,000 years after the death of Jesus. If true, how could this possibly be the burial cloth of Christ? Although experts acknowledge that radiocarbon dating may contain slight errors, a discrepancy of thousands of years is hard to justify. Even these findings remain far from conclusive. In 2011, Italian scientists attempted to recreate the image on the shroud using modern ultraviolet technology. Surprisingly, despite using pulses shorter than 1/40th billionth of a second and energy intensities of several billion watts, they still couldn't perfectly replicate the original image. This raises a critical question. How could medieval humans create such a precise image without access to 21st century technology? To this day, research on the shroud continues, and we still lack sufficient evidence to conclude whether it is real or fake. Yet many believers insist that the Shroud of Turin is a holy relic, the only remaining physical trace of one of history's most influential figures. If proven genuine, the shroud would become a sacred treasure representing the presence of religious faith, especially Christianity and the figure of Jesus Christ. But perhaps that isn't even the most important point. Throughout history, humanity has always had objects symbolizing faith. Statues of Buddha, the Virgin Mary, Kuan Yin God, all serve as tangible representations of divine presence for worshippers. Now, look closely at this wall. Do you notice anything unusual? Yes, those streams of water flowing from the eyes represent one of the world's most mysterious religious phenomena: crying statues. This phenomenon is not limited to a single statue or religion. It has occurred across various statues in many parts of the world. Let's start with China, a country historically associated with Buddhism. From the Qin Dynasty, 221-206 BCE, to the Eastern Han Dynasty, 25 to 220 CE, Buddhism gradually spread from India into China, deeply influencing its culture and philosophy. Wooden Buddhist scriptures imported from India helped advance printing technology in China, and the oldest surviving printed books in the world are Buddhist texts. Thus, it's no surprise that strange stories and miraculous events related to Buddhism have long circulated. One of the most well-known is the tale of the Leishan giant Buddha, a colossal statue said to have cried 4 times throughout history. The Leishan giant Buddha is a unique cultural relic and arguably the only recorded Buddhist statue to exhibit such a phenomenon. To fully grasp its mystery, we must understand its construction history and spiritual significance. Located in eastern Leshan City, Sichuan Province, the Leshan giant Buddha is considered one of the largest stone Buddhist statues in the world. Carved directly into the cliffside of Lingyun Mountain, it stands over 1,300 years old. From afar, one can easily sense the solemn dignity of this monument. The statue faces the confluence of 3 rivers, Minjiang, Qingyi, and Dadu. Its imposing presence comes from being carved directly from the mountain itself, giving it a natural stone color, aged by centuries of moss and weather. Over 1,000 years ago, it's incredible to think ancient people could build such a grand and intricate sculpture. It took nearly a century to complete. Yes, you heard correctly. Almost 100 years. The statue depicts Buddha sitting peacefully, smiling gently, hands resting on his knees, and eyes half closed with compassion. For Buddhists, it feels as though Buddha watches protectively over life below. Beyond its size, the statue reflects the artistic mastery of ancient Chinese craftsmanship. Even the hair consists of 1,021 neatly arranged curls. The project was initiated by Master Hailong, a monk from Lingyun Temple atop Lingyun Mountain. One day, he looked down from the mountain and saw the dangerous waters where the 3 rivers converged. Boats often capsized here, causing frequent disasters. Moved by compassion, he believed the raging waters must harbor evil spirits. At the time, belief in supernatural beings was widespread, so the monk vowed to carve a Buddha statue, hoping its divine power would subdue the demons and bring peace to the people. For 20 years, he traveled tirelessly to raise funds, a long and difficult journey to collect enough money. According to historical records, the carving process was magnificent and solemn. Unfortunately, when the statue was halfway completed, Master Hailong passed away, and construction paused for 10 years. Later, Governor Zhang Shuqiang of Jianan Sichuan contributed 200,000 taels of gold to continue the work. Due to the massive cost, the imperial court also granted public funds to support the project. When the sculptors reached the knee area, Zhang Shuqiang was promoted to Minister of Revenue and had to move to the capital, halting the project again. It wasn't until the 4th year of the Zhenyuan era, under Emperor Dezong of the Tang Dynasty, that Governor Wei Gao resumed construction, gathering stonemasons and raising additional funds. After more than 90 years and the efforts of 3 generations, the Lishan giant Buddha was finally completed. Today, millions visit this awe-inspiring site each year, but beyond its architectural brilliance, the statue is believed to possess spiritual sensitivity, reportedly shedding tears during times of human tragedy. Historical accounts describe the Leshan giant Buddha closing its eyes and weeping during major global crises. One such event occurred during China's Great Famine, 1959-1961, when countless lives were lost in Sichuan. Locals claim the Buddha wept out of sorrow for the suffering. Another instance happened in 1963, coinciding with the Cultural Revolution, when temples, statues, calligraphy, and art were destroyed. Then, in July 1976, following the devastating Tangshan earthquake, measuring 7.8 on the Richter scale, locals reported seeing the statue's eyes tear up once again. The earthquake struck Tangshan, Hebei province, at 3:42 a.m. on July 28, 1976. Within 23 seconds, the entire city was flattened, equivalent to 400 Hiroshima-level atomic bombs exploding simultaneously. Before the quake, however, strange phenomena were observed. Fishermen suddenly caught large amounts of fish inexplicably. Swarms of dragonflies landed on boats, refusing to scatter. Birds flew erratically. Groundwater levels rose unexpectedly. Animals sensed danger, but humans ignored the warnings. Some believe the Buddha wept both for the suffering people and for their failure to heed nature's signals. The last recorded instance of the statue weeping occurred on June 10, 1994. Witnesses on tourist boats claimed to see tears streaming from the statue's eyes. Chinese authorities held special conferences to investigate the phenomenon. Experts attributed it to environmental factors, humidity, heavy rainfall, and the natural properties of the stone. Still, believers maintain it is a spiritual miracle, while skeptics argue for scientific explanations. Regardless of interpretation, we ask all viewers to respect diverse perspectives, avoid imposing personal views on others. Moving on, are crying statues exclusive to Buddhism? Absolutely not. Similar reports exist worldwide. In 2016, in Bolivia, a small church stirred controversy when a statue of the Virgin Mary allegedly began bleeding. A photo showed blood streaks running from her left cheek to her fingers. In 2018, thousands of Christian devotees flocked to New Mexico after a statue of the Virgin Mary reportedly shed fragrant tears, resembling rose oil. Father Jose Pepper Segura shared that he wiped the statue's face, but the tears continued to fall. He stated, "I know the Virgin truly cried. This is a reminder for all of us to draw closer to God and stop violence." But was it really a miracle? The statue was made entirely of hollow bronze, making internal liquid storage impossible. Yet, the appearance of fragrant tears raised questions. The Catholic Church approaches such claims with caution. Only a few cases have been officially recognized, including the Akita Madonna in Japan. Between 1973 and 1975, the Akita statue reportedly wept 101 times. Scientific analysis confirmed the tears contained human proteins and type O blood dot in 1982. Agnes Katsuko Sasagawa, the nun involved, was miraculously cured of deafness in 1988. Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, later Pope Benedict XVI, declared the Akita events credible and worthy of faith. Religious phenomena and relics carry deep meaning for hundreds of millions of believers worldwide. Some are real, some are fake, and others remain uncertain. Unlike ordinary mysteries, religious miracles cannot be fully explained as long as faith exists. Thank you for watching today's video. Feel free to share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. We'll conclude here. Mr.BitUT channel says goodbye and looks forward to seeing you in the next video.